right, and welcome to Grand Prix Anaheim. I am Nate Price here in the booth with Marshall Sutcliffe. Block Constructed, Innistrad Block Constructed is the game that we're going to be playing this weekend here.
Yep.
We are looking at a feature match between Eric Panknin on the left-hand side of your screen there. There you see Eric. And his opponent this round is Philip Summers, who you might not recognize Philip Summers' name. He's coming fresh off of his second bye.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about it.
Well, because we saw Philip have a very, very strong finish at Pro Tour Avison Restored, right? And he absolutely smashed the block constructed portion.
Yeah, he finished 9-1 in the 10 rounds of play. There's only one player in the tournament that finished better than he did, being Shota Yasuoka, who also crushed the field as well. But yeah, it earned him a 9th place finish.
Which is kind of a dagger.
Yeah, kind of a dagger.
But still a completely respectable, awesome finish for him.
Yeah.
And it seems like he has a really good grasp on his block format. Do we know what he was playing? I forgot what
he was playing red-green Wolf Run, like the mid-range deck. Like it was basically the same deck as the Naya deck that we've been speaking of, but he had a few more aggressive creatures. He had the ability to play the Strangleroot Geists, that they were like a little bit less likely to play because of the mana base.
So was his deck straight red-green?
It was straight red-green, yes.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to see if he stuck with the same thing. This actually seems like it was a pretty good field for him because his deck is faster than the Naya decks was, but he has the exact same mid-range power.
Yeah.
The only thing he's lacking, he's not playing the white for either of the big angels,
Restoration Angel or
Resto,
Gisela. Yeah, okay.
any of those. So interested to see whether he sticks with that plan or if he goes with something new.
Yeah, I mean, I think that having been at the Pro Tour gives you a different perspective on what we're facing when it comes to the next tournament, right? Like there's a big gap of time in between 2 weeks where you can get a lot done. Avison Restored was released on Magic Online in between, so there's definitely a lot of ability to test and get things done in there. Now, we only had about a week, but still, if you're going to a GP and you're prepping for a GP, you just get on there and you do it.
Yeah, and Block Constructed has always been one of those formats that really rewards a certain skill set because you don't have access to the wealth of knowledge that you've got for other formats.
I see a Strangleroot Geist and a Kessig Wolf Run right away. So.
I'm going to say that he is definitely sticking with the plan. I see a Dungeon Geist in his opponent's hand.
Yes, there's a Silent Departure.
Yeah,
so
that looks like Spirits.
It looks like Spirits to me. I think I see an Abundant Growth as well.
Yeah. All right.
Has he kept this hand? I don't see a lot of lands in his hand. No, this one looks like it's going to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to ship this one. So
seems like it's a wise decision. That's one thing that when speaking with Go Dennis and John, like John specifically mentioned in his quarterfinals when he was talking with Alex Hain, like the deck mulligans a lot. Like it has to mulligan a lot because
like any good combo deck.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, don't combo decks generally mulligan a lot because they're looking for pieces?
Yes, and you have to treat it just like that. Plus the mana base for this deck is interesting. Like interesting is the best way to put it. Like
I think that's a fair way to put it. Like it's not bad.
No.
But it's not good.
Exactly. Like Cavern of Souls is really great for the deck, but at the same time, like I guess the main thing that really helps it out is the fact that Strangleroot Geist and Geist of St. Traft are both spirits, and those are the two cards that give your mana base the most trouble.
That is an interesting overlap. Yeah, I didn't actually think about that.
Like there are multiple decks that the most important card in your matchup, specifically the Miracles matchup, which again is another matchup I expect to see Spirits versus Miracles happening at a reasonable percentage of the time here this weekend. Like I mean, considering it just
Miracles.
came off. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that deck for a sec. I'm sure we'll see some of it if it manages to do as well as it did at Pro Tour Avison Restored.
Yep.
I don't want to give anything away yet, but we've seen that. I think it maybe has gone a little bit of an evolution since we saw it at Pro Tour Avison Restored.
It's an evolution or a revolution. Like I'm not sure how you want to look at it because there's multiple versions of the deck that were played at Avison Restored. The biggest version was Hain's version, the straight blue-white version, but there was a blue-white-red version that was floating around.
Okay.
It was actually like a pretty solid take on it as well. The problem is...
So you can add Bonfire of the Damned to the list with that, which is... I mean, when we were doing the coverage over at Avison Restored, Oh, looks like we've got some action. We'll talk about that later. So Forest is going to lead off for Eric and no Abundant Growth.
No. Another card that really tremendously helps the mana base of this blue-green-white Spirits deck.
So I'm assuming that Philip probably isn't playing Avison's Pilgrim because he just doesn't need the white mana.
Right. He doesn't need the white mana. It's a combination of that, and his deck isn't really trying to just ramp into it. It's more of I guess it's more of an on-curve deck.
Okay.
Like he wants to go Geist on 2 and then play. He might want to power out an early Huntmaster, but
All right. So it looks like we've named human because that's the only way. Or actually, human. Yeah, it could be spirit, right? I don't think that guy's a spirit. I think he's like a rogue or something.
yeah, he's definitely not a spirit. But Cavern of Souls taps for. Yeah, he did name human. Yeah.
He did name human.
Yes. The only way that's going to be coming into play. And then you see the Geist from Summers on turn 2. Yeah, like Huntmaster of the Fells is an interesting card to speak about for this weekend because it's a lot of players who were playing that Naya deck were lamenting the fact that they had it in their deck because it's just not an amazing card against the other Naya mid-range decks.
Huntmaster?
Huntmaster,
Yeah.
All right, well, there's an Avacyn's Pilgrim who came down just a little bit late to the party.
Yep. And the Stalker's going to get in for 1 here. So Eric's going to be looking, his plan is to make that Stalker a lot more scarier than it currently is, right?
Yes.
I mean, we're looking for, whoa.
Man, that
Speaking
is
of scary,
aggressive start.
Doubled Strangleroot Geist opener here. We'll see if he plays a land after this. It looks like he has at least a mountain in his hand there. So I wonder if Eric can race this. Like, he's going to need to get something pretty huge on that Stalker in order to race here, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a Silver
I see an
Heart
increasing
on turn. A Silver Heart goes a long way because not only does it make him a 5/5, but it also gives him a massive blocker.
I think we're going to see increasing savagery right here, and we
Yeah.
do. So this is going to put 5 +1/+1 counters.
Pretty massive.
So he's going to be able to attack for 6, which is actually a little bit awkward because Philip's at 19. So instead of being a 3-turn clock, this represents 4-turn clock, and he looks like he's recognized that he can't race 2 guys, and he's just going to pass turn back and leave his Stalker up for blocks. Is this the way to go, though?
I don't know. It depends on what's in his hand. Like having the ability to have extra enhancers means that 1 point damage doesn't really matter all that much. Like being
So
able
he can just throw something else on there
exactly,
at some point?
like a spectral flight or something. Maybe
Sure. Give it flying and unblockable just for the rub-ins?
right. But at this time, like, I mean, if you are playing it in the sense of a combo deck, like using this turn to just kind of take a turn away from your opponent. I mean, although if you're Philip, do you really just avoid attacking in there? If both of your creatures haven't died, why would you stop?
Use it.
Yeah.
If he wants, he can pump one of the creatures by 1, but that doesn't seem like a good use of his mana, so he's
No,
not
not
going
at
to
all.
do that. Looks like he's got a Devil's Play,
Only Pillar of Flame as well.
and he's just going to Brimstone your face for 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why you would slow down and not attack. Like, I understand racing the Geist is hard, but I mean, by not attacking, you're signaling that you're going to try to, like, 2-shot kill your opponent.
Right.
And I don't know if that's something you necessarily want to play to.
I see a Geist of St. Traft in hand, which he can cast. He has to use the Pilgrim and the Cavern of Souls to do it, though. Oh, no, he can't actually, right? Because Geist isn't a human. It's just a spirit. It's a spirit cleric, so he actually can't cast Geist here. It looks like he's just going to play another increasing savagery. Well, I guess these guys will block fine now. He's got 2 6/6s.
Yeah. That was
And
slow
we have a Bonfire of the Damned right off the top.
for 3.
So he's going to hit him for 3. That's going to put him to 4. And he's probably just going to have to pass the turn here. But I think that Philip has a game plan around a Devil's Play.
He can attack here because with that 3 damage on both of Eric's creatures, he can't block the 3/3 without
good
losing one of his
point.
guys.
Yes, good call. Now, would you attack with the one that's only a 2/1? Is there any point to doing that? Just to make it a 3/2 next turn? Like, is that beneficial?
Yeah.
Because he's going to lose it, but it's going to be a 3/2, so maybe he just decided, well, I'd rather have a 3/2 than a 2/1, so I'll attack in there anyway.
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Okay, and he did decide to block with the Stalker.
Needs the mana, it would appear.
Is that in
Not
case
sure what he's gaming for.
maybe if he drew a Silverheart, he wanted to be able to cast it, although that would still leave him with only one untapped creature.
Yeah, either way, he only has one blocker.
Yeah, so he's just going to pass the turn back here, which is...
Attention players signed up for the first Swiss booster draft.
And he's just going to doubles play him for 4, and that's going to be the game.
All right, Philip Summers takes first game of his actual play here at Grand Prix Anaheim.
Man, Strangler guys, just make some dudes, turn them sideways, see if you win. That seems good.
I mean, that's what his deck does. I'd really be interested to see his list. I wonder what changes that he's made from the deck list that he was playing in Anaheim, or in
Do you know if he
Barcelona.
was main decking Bonfires in Barcelona?
He was.
Okay.
It was at least 2. I thought it might have been 3. I think 3 is the magic number.
What do you
for
think
him.
about Bonfire?
I think the card is amazing. Like, the card is a format defining card.
Right?
Like, because of that card, decks like red white are very difficult to like play successfully. Like, even one of those cards just completely demolished. It's one of the only removal spells that is fast enough to keep up with a red white aggro deck.
Yeah.
It also does wonders against the mid-range deck because, I mean, getting to cast the game's going to go on a little bit longer, and if you're playing like the Naya deck and you're playing Bonfire, you're going to be able to cast it for 4 or 5, which is going to wipe your opponent's board away.
Yeah, another benefit of running the ramp creatures, the Addison's Pilgrim and the Scorn Villager.
Exactly.
Especially after the Scorn Villagers transform.
Yeah,
It's a lot
so
of mana.
true.
It's a nice place to have all that extra mana to dump if you're top decking them.
Yeah, I mean, think of them like bare minimum, not even looking at them as ways to like effectively remove your opponent's creatures. They're fireballs. They just hit your opponent for
Sure.
X damage. Like,
Sure.
they are reach.
Right.
And a lot of times they get overlooked. Like, when people are looking for ways to finish people off, they're like, yeah, well, he's got this, he's got this. Like, devil's play. Like, this card is devil's play. It just hits your opponent and
Yeah.
all of their creatures too. It's
Yeah,
just-
as long as you're miracling it.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of matches, from Barcelona that were defined by, is he going to top deck a Bonfire?
Yeah.
Like, because if a Bonfire comes down, this entire game's completely different. Where if he doesn't, then this game's going to continue the way that we see it, and it's rare that you see a card that has that much immediate impact on the board. Like, we've seen bombs. Gisela is in this format, and she does a lot of great things. It looks like we've got some deck lists here as well.
Now let's see. So Philip's got a trio of Huntmaster of the Fells. That's one of the cards I'm going to be looking at over the course of the weekend because I want to see with the emergence of Naya as like one of the premier decks in the format, at least in terms of the sheer numbers.
Okay.
The card's not that amazing. I mean, it's good. It's always good. It's just not amazing in that matchup because, like, the removal doesn't do as much. The life gain is inconsequential, and you're generally paying 4 mana for 4 power creatures that comes in the form of 2/2/2s, which is less awesome than you'd like.
It's an interesting 2-drop I see over here on this list.
The Dawn Treader Elk.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it looks like it does ramp you. It does fix your mana. It also acts as probably a 2-drop. He probably just needed like a solid 2-drop to complement the Strangler guys that he has. And I gotta say, looking at his deck, being a cheap enabler for Morbid.
Yeah.
Is pretty nice. Like, being able to just like late game set up a Brimstone Volley where you're just like, hey, I've got this Dawn Treader Elk, it's a guy, it attacks, it blocks, it does stuff, and then later in the game it acts as this instant enabler.
Yeah. I mean, in addition, think of it this way. With Bonfire being so important, having a ramp spell effectively in your deck that is not vulnerable to that Bonfire is really, really important.
Yeah.
Like, he composes a blocker in a pinch, but he's not going to really provide a big drawback to you should that not be the case.
Yeah, and he attacks sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you need to. Yeah.
I'm seeing some pretty sweet cards over on Eric's list here too that I really like. One of them that I didn't see that much of, and I was kind of looking to see more of in in Barcelona, is Dungeon Geist.
Yes.
I just think that card's awesome, and if people are going to be playing like huge stuff like Wolfir Silverheart, just lock that thing down. Just you can set it, like, sure, you pump something up, that's cool, but like 8/8, get out of here. And then the other card I really like is Silent Departure.
Yes.
I don't know how amazing it is in the format.
I think it's great.
Okay, because it's one of my favorite limited cards.
Yeah.
I'm well known for being kind of addicted to drafting those, but should be able to do some stuff. I mean, I don't know how good it is in this matchup. Now, I'm looking also at the sideboard here for Eric, and I see 2 Witchbane Orb. Now, we saw a Devil's Play and a Bonfire of the Damned in Game 1 for Philip.
Yep.
Are you just slamming in those Witchbane Orbs? They prevent both of those from even happening.
That's a good question. I don't know. You're the cards you're definitely bringing in. He's got 4 Tree of Redemptions.
Yeah,
like
those
no
are
matter
gonna come
what,
in.
you're
Yep.
making room for those 4. Ulvenwald Tracker is really good in this matchup too, so he's gonna bring in that Tracker.
Because he
Yeah.
can take one of his guys and then pump it up using increasing
Yeah.
savagery, and then the next thing you know, the tracker just kills all of Philip's creatures.
Yeah, like he might bring those in. Like the chances are slim though. Like I don't know. I don't think he necessarily needs to worry about it that much with the Tree of Redemption package coming in.
You think his life total is going to be padded enough so that those cards won't be as relevant?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Like you've got so many other cards. Like he's got 7 other cards that need to come in ahead of that bare minimum with
Okay.
the Tracker, Garrick, and Trees.
Okay.
That like it's weird. Like because the Spirits deck, like it's a tempo deck. Like it is at its heart just a tempo deck. You play your guys. You make your guys big, and then you stop anything your opponents try to put in the way before
At any
you
cost.
before you kill them.
Yeah.
That's all you're trying to do. You don't want to like control the game. You just want to lock up 3 turns.
Okay.
And this deck, this red-green deck, it's difficult to do that against because it's got enough aggressive cards in it that it's going to be able to put multiple things on the table you're going to have to deal with. So, I mean, cards. You're right. Like. The Silent Departure is not as awesome in this matchup. Dungeon Geist itself isn't that as awesome in this matchup.
Brimstone.
Yeah,
Kills it.
This deck is like the tempo deck is just perfect against the Naya deck. Like, because those mid-range decks will rely on a lower number of threats but stronger individual threats.
Okay.
At which point those cards just become.
But Philip's deck just
significantly
seems a step quicker than the Naya decks.
That's
you know?
exactly why those cards are worse, and exactly why I think what he's going to be trying to do is he is the controller. Like Eric is the controlish deck.
Yes.
In this matchup.
That's
now.
I think that's the best way to put it, is that Eric's deck, the Spirits deck, is going to become the control in a big way here, because what he's going to try to do is get some Tree of Redemptions out, get a bunch of blockers, and get his life total buffed, and then just set up an Invisible Stalker that has some power more than one and just attack a bunch of times.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. I don't think... Do you pull Geist of St. Traft out in this matchup?
I would be hard pressed to ever pull Geist of St. Traft out.
Because you can
just
still
win games with that. Like,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, when you're facing Strangler Geist and all this crazy stuff...
I mean, it's possible. Like,
But still, the Geist still gets Spectral Flighted. It still gets...
yeah. I mean, when your deck's plan is built around pumping up creatures, although, like, it's interesting. Like, I really wish that I knew more about how this deck sideboarded in these matchups. Like, that's something I'd kind of like to talk to somebody about, because there are cards that you can see coming out. Like, I can see Silent Departure coming out. I can see the Dungeon Geist coming out. And that frees up just like 6 slots for you. But how important are cards like increasing savagery and those spectral flights? Like, are they good in this matchup? Because it doesn't seem like they're awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Seems like they're kind of the last thing that you want to do, but you need to be stable and everything.
yeah.
All right, so we see a Dawn Treader Elk on Philip's side of the board, and it looks like we're going to see a 4-drop. The tree comes down.
Oh man.
Plant.
And yeah, wow.
So the tree is the tree is one of the more unique cards we've had in a while.
Yes.
It's hard to understand. These exchanging of life totals and exchanging of numbers is a very strange rules mechanic.
Yes.
And we're going to see if Eric can abuse it, because there's some room to abuse these things. If you can make the tree's toughness higher than 0, even if your life total would, reduce that lower, then you can actually gain life from the tree. It's really crazy.
That actually brings me to something that was it was a sideboard plan for the red-green deck that was being played by this Cabinet Soul of Spirit. Thank you. Gosh, who was I speaking to?
5-drop incoming. We see a Wolfir Silverheart.
Yeah.
Now, he is going to pair it to the tree.
Exactly as you said. This is what we're looking at.
So this is really funny. All right, so it looks like we have a couple of dice. Now, for those watching, those are not counters. Those are just indicating for us at home and for us in the booth that these creatures are paired together. You cannot attack with a creature with Defender, even if it has a dice on it.
Don't get me wrong, it is a plant. It's just not a very mobile one.
Yeah, I mean, I really like attacking with a tree. I think that would be sweet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have rules manager Matt Tabak is here this weekend spell slinging, and I don't think he would agree about attacking with it.
I'm surprised he didn't Superman fly across the room to point out that he's not allowed to do that.
Yeah, and our friends in R&D would probably disagree with a plant attacking in the sense that it's supposed to be rooted firmly into the ground.
Although Monty Ashley would totally be a big fan of plant attacking.
All right, so we're going to see our first Hunt Master of the tournament. It won't be our last, is my guess.
I'm definitely going to go with you on that one. Let's see, looking at the sideboard that Philip has got here, he has a 4th copy of Hunt Master of the Fells. The life gain is actually semi-important in this matchup, barring, only for game 1. Like game 2, it gets a little bit less important because of the fact that the play, like Eric will switch out. The Spirits deck generally goes with the tree sideboard plan. So the game slows down, life total is less important.
Ooh, look at this. We have a Spectral Flight coming down on the already 8/8 Wolfear Silverheart.
Oh, my.
Flying over all the wolves and elks and little animals and hitting for 10.
Gosh. Not sure how Spirits pick up something that big, but okay.
Now, Philip had gained life off of his Hunt Master, so this actually isn't going to be a 2-turn clock. It isn't going to be a 10-10 situation. And also, Eric had gotten in once with his Pilgrim, so it brings Philip to 11, but he's already in dire straits here.
Yes.
Like, his deck doesn't do well against flyers, right? Does he have things that can hit flyers?
No.
No, right? I mean, he's green. I mean, I guess there's, they get reach and stuff in the color pie, but that doesn't mean that the decks, the cards that he's running in his actual deck are going to do.
Yeah, he needs to kill it, and that's one problem that the red decks have is it is hard to kill an 8/8 on turn 4.
Yeah, or a 10-10 in this case.
Yeah.
Brimstone away, sir. It's not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so he's just going to pass the turn, and then during upkeep, he's going to transform into Ravager, and he's going to use the 2 damage to go to Eric's face, so he's going to go to 18, and then also he's going to take out the Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Which is currently the only white source.
No, but then again, at this point, it doesn't really matter. He's got 2 forests in play. I mean, Dungeon Geist would be something that he couldn't play. But since he didn't get an island, it's unlikely those cards are in.
There's some weird timing that just happened here. Because we already had a transformation, but then we had an Evolving Wilds cracked, it looks like, but the forest is untapped, so maybe he said, I was going to do this on your end step. I'm not really sure exactly how that's going. Okay, it is tapped. He's tapped it now. Okay. Looks like he just waited till his turn to do it, which is kind of unorthodox. It still is upkeep, I guess. Or maybe that was end step? I don't know.
It was end step.
But it can't be end step if the Ravager's transformed. And another Evolving Wilds. And we're just going to attack in. So he didn't have an increasing savagery or something to make it a one-shot deal. He's just going to bring Philip to 1. So the situation's the same. Philip needs to find a way to either kill his opponent
in 1 turn.
Which, I mean, there are cards like Zealous Conscripts. Does he have that in his sideboard or in his main deck?
He does not. Oh, yep, there are 2. Very bottom.
So he might have brought that in, but even then the tree's sitting there kind of swaying in the wind.
I mean, he could take the tree.
He could take the tree. He could take the tree.
Take the tree, swinging for 9.
And then go to 17? No,
it's 17.
It's got 4 counters. It's a 17. It's a 4/17 tree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a play.
He's got a few red cards in his hand. One of them the conscripts.
No.
Okay. Check for a post-game miracle. Didn't find it. Yeah. All right, and Eric Panknin goes and takes game 2 away.
Evens it up in pretty impressive fashion. I mean, he played 2 super relevant spells, and we saw, one thing that you were mentioning about Huntmaster. wasn't very good there. Like, it really did almost nothing.
Yeah, it's just a dude.
It's just a dude and a guy and a bunch of value, which I can appreciate value, but it's not really a particularly aggressive card.
No, and the problem here, like, I mean, at least as I see it, like, Phillips he has to pick his role. Like, the Huntmaster of the Fells is one of those cards that lets you beat the aggressive decks, and it does fine. I mean, it's okay against control decks. It's just not amazing. Like,
the deck that he's facing, you've categorized it as a combo deck and also as a tempo-based deck.
yeah,
But neither of those are what you'd call an aggressive deck.
no, well, the tempo decks are definitely aggressive decks.
Okay.
Like, the whole point of like aggressive decks just look too pushed for the end, like for the end of the game, and they don't like most tempo decks, like they don't bother with disrupt, or aggressive decks, they don't bother with disruption. They just bother with getting your opponent low and finishing them off.
Okay.
Like the difference, like the way that I guess would characterize a tempo deck is it does the same thing, but it looks to efficiently remove threats that opponents have played through either bouncing or locking them down with something. It just tries to, that's how it cements its offensive advantage, is by removing blockers.
Okay.
Whereas most aggressive decks, I mean, primarily the ones playing red, like they try to remove the opponents.
Yeah,
Like, so,
right. Yeah, and as we've noted, post-board here, Eric's deck very much plays a controlling route. It's looking to get these trees down. It's looking to, he's got 2 Garrick Relentless in his sideboard. I'm curious if you brought those, and they seem very good against his deck.
Yeah, definitely. I think he
Fight
brings it.
something, make some 1/1 death touch tokens, which are sick against this green-red deck. They just, they just have to 1-for-1 with those out there.
Yep.
And like like one of those stops a Wolfear Silverheart cold.
Yes,
Which is just pretty impressive.
it really does. And
when they start brimstone volleying your wolf tokens, you're probably pretty happy. At that.
yeah, you've definitely done the correct things up to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Summers is, I mean, he's got conscripts, which are good against the large creatures that are going to be on the opposite side of the table. Those trees provide a really, really big problem for him because he doesn't have a way to push through or around them, really. Garrick is about as close as it would get to giving him an ability to go long and go over the top.
How would he do that? Make 1 billion wolves? Like, seriously, if that's
Yeah.
his plan, he's in big trouble because we know
Overrun.
that Eric's going to be able to set up a situation with something with evasion that's huge before Garrick is going to become like ultimate range or is going to make enough wolves to actually do anything. I mean, it feels like Eric could kill Garrick at will anyway.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
might just sticky back or something.
I mean, overrun is really like that's his path. Like once the game gets set to that point, like Garrick the Veil Curse Ultimate, like
That just cannot be the plan. I mean,
yeah,
like if that's your plan, you are an extremely unhappy Magic player.
I agree with that completely.
Now, but Garrick on Eric's side, that seems a lot better because it's doing a lot more kind of what. I mean,
Yes.
Garrick is a pretty mid-range card ultimately.
Yeah.
Master of the Fells almost defines mid-range. You know, and it's funny because we're gonna see Garrick used in an almost controlling way potentially on Eric's side if he's brought him in. I mean, because one of the things about Eric's deck is it doesn't have removal.
Yeah,
Silent Departure is not removable.
no.
Dungeon Geist is kind of removable.
Overwall Tracker is removed.
It is removable. He's only got 1 though.
The real problem, like another solid finisher that Phillips got for this matchup, Hellrider. Like, a nice solid way to finish matchup.
Okay, see, now you're talking.
But the problem is how does that, think of the interaction with that and tree. Like, each of the triggers goes on the stack individually. So,
Okay.
so he can just eat the damage one by one and then activate the tree and put his life total right back up afterwards.
How does that work?
So the Hellrider triggers when the creatures attack.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of
there's
triggers.
a bunch of
on this
triggers,
side.
and so he takes the one, takes the one, takes the one, takes the one, takes the one.
Okay.
It's low enough, and once he gets low enough that he feels like, gets down to about 3 so that he doesn't die to like a pillar of flame or something. Oh, that's a sorcerer anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, he just gets down to
So
1.
let's say he gets to
comfortable.
4.
Yeah.
So
And then
he's
just,
playing around Brimstone.
Yeah, and then he taps the tree and exchanges
just-
his life total, goes back up and negates that entire part of the attack.
Oh, okay, sure. I mean, the problem then becomes the next attack. Because
Oh, yeah.
Hellrider's coming at you again and again.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely a step in the right direction. He does have 4 of them, so
That card, Hellrider.
I really like that card.
Hellrider to me, like when we were doing testing, was one of the defining cards of the format as well. It was like you could do all these great things, but then it's like, yeah, but I can't beat Hellrider.
Yeah,
It just goes over the top, you know?
I mean, it takes games that are fast and makes them faster.
Yeah,
Like,
I like that card.
I'm a big fan.
I don't
good.
like playing it. Like, it's not really my. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd rather be doing other stuff, drawing cards or bouncing stuff.
yeah.
But man, that guy's potent.
You know, there's a couple cool, interesting things here, like that Philip has access to in his sideboard. Like,
Are they cool and interesting?
they are
or-
cool and interesting,
All right,
actually.
I'll be the judge of that. What do
All
you
right. So first we have Blasphemous Act.
That's cool and interesting.
Yes.
That's in Phillips' board?
It is in Philip's board.
Oh.
Think about when when a Tree of Redemption at the table and the games go longer and the board tends to glut a bit.
Sure.
You're gonna get to cast it for cheap. It
Yeah.
does 13 damage.
Yeah, and it hits things that his deck cannot hit,
Yes.
right? You get the increasing savagery on something with hexproof. You can actually kill it,
Yeah.
but it kills all of his guys. I mean,
True. But at this point, like when your opponent's setting it up, like
Yeah.
setting up his defenses, you need at some point your offense doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good your creatures are if you can't get through.
Okay,
all
so
the creatures
let's
in the
say we see a tree from Eric,
Yeah.
and then we see Philip Blasphemous Act. Is he going to actually go down in life total to keep his tree alive? You do, right? Like, you're at 20, tree's at 13. He says Blasphemous Act. You use the tree, right? You make the tree an 0-20 and you bring yourself to 13. Because you can always just switch it back.
Wow.
Tree of Redemption, everybody.
Oh man. The things
Ooh,
to
we
think
see
about now.
Early double forest opener from Philip, but no Strangleroot Geist. And that was off of, it looks like a turn 2 Geist of Saint Trap from Eric. All right, so Eric's game plan is vaulted right
Yeah.
into play here.
Again, I don't think you
And-
ever take Geist of St. Trap out because
Oh,
sometimes you
this
just
is bad.
win.
Philip just said forest, 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 go, go, go.
Oh my. You see Mountain.
Now, what about a Wolfir Avenger? Is that a card that we might see here?
Unlikely. Like, Avenger is from Philip.
From Philip, because he can flash it in and eat the Geist. I don't know if he has it in his list,
I
though.
don't think he has it in his list.
Okay.
Yep, he does not.
Okay, so
So,
it looks
no.
like we're just taking six here.
Yeah.
This is going to get out of control really quickly.
Yeah.
4 mana, and a tree comes down. Now this is an interesting spot because this is where you don't really want a tree at all, right? I mean, it doesn't attack, it doesn't do what you want to be doing. All right, we're going to see a Hunt Master probably here.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is going to help stabilize the board a lot because now the Geist is going to have to find a way to get over the token and the Hunt Master.
Or through. And his deck certainly has ability to get through.
You mean just attack in and just take 4 and let it die?
No, I mean he's got Wolfers, Silverheart, and he has the increasing savagery in his
Yep.
deck, so he
Good
might
point.
just
I also see
Big Daddy Geist.
Yeah, I see a Silent Departure in Eric's hand, which isn't going to do a whole lot here because he can't actually flash it back this turn.
Cavernous Souls, I can only assume naming
Human or Spirit.
and probably Spirit.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Rashad.
yeah.
There are life totals, and we like them.
They are doing well. They're correct.
Yeah, they're great.
It's a
All right,
Dungeon
so
Geist.
Dungeon Geist comes down. This is one of the cards I really like to play in Limited when I'm lucky enough to open one. And I love seeing it here. So now the Silent
Oh,
Departure.
man.
Dude, that was like the Marshall 1-2 right there. Dungeon Geist and the Silent Departure. I'm really happy. All right, now we need to make sure we get this token. There it is. So we talked about the trigger
interesting.
rules. You need to make sure that you announce these things, and
Yeah.
it's important.
I'm curious now because it's all speculation on my part, and I'm usually wrong about these things. So if it were me, I would have apparently incorrectly sideboarded because I wouldn't have either of those cards in my deck.
Which one, the tree?
No, the Geist, or the Dungeon Geist, or the Silent Departure. Like after the first game, but I don't know. Like, wouldn't mind sitting down and chatting
Okay.
with somebody at some point to find out how you sideboard this deck. Now that we've had an entire event in the books.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. You know what stage of the game we're at? We are at
All right, Philip drops to 10.
Brimstone volley, or not brimstone, bonfire of the damned time. Here.
Yeah.
If Philip can survive a turn and then drop, because right now he's going to take 10. Like he's facing lethal. He has to play something. He's going to take 6 from the Geist and his buddy, 3 from the Dungeon Geist, which is 9, and then if the Avacyn's Pilgrim's allowed to attack in, that's 10.
Yeah.
So we need a creature here from Philip's side, or to kill a creature on Eric's side, and then essentially he needs to draw Bonfire of the Damned and do it for 3, maybe 4 if we hit a land drop here, which we did.
It's gonna be a Silverheart. Oh man, and knowing that your opponent has 5 mana and a Silent Departure in their graveyard is just a crushing feeling.
It is, and it looks like we're in maybe desperation mode here. He just played a land and then Abundant Growth, so
That was an attempt to try to
yep.
get there.
He is
Gotta
going to
get
play a
something.
Dawn Treader Elk, and he's going to pass the turn. So realistically, I think that's game. I think that we're going to see. Oh, actually, but we do need to see a land come down on
Right.
Eric's side. Now we know he has
That's
another Silent Departure in his hand as well,
Yeah.
but he
that's-
did need that land so that we can.
That should do it. Philip should be picking his cards up right now.
I mean, there are cards that exist in the format. Geist Flame would make it so that he didn't die this turn.
True.
But I don't think he has that card in his deck.
He doesn't.
So he's probably just doing his due diligence here and
Yep.
making Eric attack with everything, which is the correct way to play.
Oh, completely agree. Never give up. Your opponent has to kill you.
That's right.
Seen a couple of good matches over the past couple of weeks where
It
players.
looks like he's going to lead off attacking with the Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Yeah.
So 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, and he's going to take a look at the top card, which indicates that he is conceded. All right, so Eric Panknin, he takes down Philip, who
Your 9th place finisher from Pro Tour Avacyn Resort.
barely missed top 8,
Yep.
and Eric looks pretty pleased with himself.
I would be if I were in his situation as well. I mean,
What do you think about that matchup? It felt like it was post-board, it was heavily in Eric's favor. I mean, I might just be